Hello, how you doing? There is no such thing as a spirit of gluttony. I know I've seen about two people on YouTube talking about the spirit of gluttony. There's no such thing as a spirit of gluttony because that takes away your responsibility. I have never seen the spirit of gluttony cast out. I've heard of all kinds of demons cast out. Um, all kinds of drug, alcohol spirits, spirit of, foolishness, and I've heard of all kinds of demons, but there's no such thing as a spirit of gluttony because that takes the responsibility off of you. I have never seen any one of God's great preachers, pastors, evangelists ever talk about a spirit of gluttony. What they talked about is self-control. That's what they talked about. There's this lady that I knew. She was eating health food. She was into health food. And I told her, this is years ago, I said, I've never heard of any preacher casting out a spirit of gluttony. And she said, people just want to be a pig. That's all. There's nothing to cast out. She said, people just want to be a pig. I have heard of this woman who had an issue with food, and Jesus came and squeezed her stomach. It could be she had like a chemical imbalance in her stomach. That could be it. But it doesn't take away our responsibility. See, people can call you fat when you're a child. You're a fat kid. If you never eat sugar, you're not going to be fat. If you never eat bread and butter, you're not going to be fat. See, we have to discipline ourselves. See, everybody has a unique body. Just because some person says, I can eat anything I want. And I've heard a preacher say that. I can eat everything I want. Anything I want. No, you can't. None of us can. No, none of us can eat anything I want. I mean, I like pizza. I very seldom eat it. I like cakes. I very seldom eat cakes. So because it raises my sugar, pizza raises my cholesterol, so never mind. So what if you go looking in tight? See, you can be gluttonous for a lot of things. You can be glutton for money, which is called greed. You can be glutton for drugs, which is called an addict. You can be glutton for alcohol, which is called an alcoholic. You can be glutton for sex, which is called sexaholic. I've heard of people dying in the midst of that too. So you can be gluttonous for a lot of things. In the book of Titus, what he says, if you just read the whole book, two or three chapters, he said, do not be greedy. Greedy for anything, greedy for money, greedy for food, greedy for anything. He said, be sober, be temperate in all things. In other words, you don't eat as much as you want. That's how Jesus defines a fasted life. You do not eat as much as you want. Now, see, you want 2 or 3 pieces of chicken, but you shouldn't eat it. You deny yourself. That's how you discipline yourself. You deny yourself. Now, for example, today I had made this sweet potato dish. I have to bake it: sweet potatoes, apples, and pineapple. I put almonds in it. You can put raisins, cranberries in it. But you bake it. It's very delicious, and cinnamon. I ate 2 bowls of that this morning. And I was full. I don't need to eat anything else. I don't need to eat anything else. That's it. I don't need, it was filling. The Bible says in Titus to deny ungodliness. Your flesh is going to tell you to do this. It's going to tell you to do that. And you got to deny your flesh. You got to deny that ungodliness. Eating more than your body deserves is ungodliness. You have to say no to food. I think, first of all, we have a lot of problems. Now, particularly when you're a young adult, when your age is, let's say 5 years old to about 18, you overeat in response. Your overeating is a response because your home life is a mess. That's what my issue was. That's why I became an overeater. My home life was a mess. It was a response to extreme child abuse because there was never any food in the house. I mean, I left the house at 17. I went on the 17. I was on the 17-year fast. For the most part, there was never any food in the house. I mean, what we ate lunch at school, I don't count that. Ate lunch at school, that was it. There's no food in the house ever. I went to the woods to get food. I knew where the cherry trees were. I knew where I had to pick berries. I climbed the apple tree to get the apples. Okay, I knew I ate the honeysuckle. I know how to eat honeysuckle. Okay, all those wild things fed me because there was never any food in the house. We can go ahead to school, eat that one meal a day, and we go home. It's nothing. There's absolutely nothing to eat. Now I know that is a form of child abuse. It is a form of child abuse when you don't even fix your child any toast or anything. That is a form of child abuse. But like I said, when you're a young adult, when you ages from, I say 5 or 6 up to about 18, you overeat as a response. So when I got older, I could afford some food. I could afford to buy some food. I tasted this and I tasted that. I tasted lasagna. I tasted pizza. I tasted submarines. Because see, now I can afford it. And so, of course, I gained weight. Okay. You know, when I was in college, I was always active. I walked everywhere. So I didn't get fat in college. I walked everywhere. Okay. So I didn't get fat. I always walked, exercise. I walked everywhere I needed to go. Okay, so I never gained weight in college. People used to call me fat, but look, I would give anything to be the size I was in high school. I love to be 120 pounds. I love to be 120 pounds. That's what size I was in high school. I think one problem, the reason why we got to let that go is like I said, one of the first problems I think is we are highly disturbed people. We cannot handle this child abuse. Now, a lot of people can't handle child abuse. If you look at some of these other channels, how do people deal with their child abuse? They go to drugs. They go to the street. We don't understand food. I've been studying food for 30 years. Food and exercise physiology for 30 years. So I know how to exercise. And I have a pretty good idea what I should eat for food, because I've been studying for about 30 years, over 30 years. Okay, so I asked myself, do I need a chili dog? The answer is no. I don't need a chili dog. I got the bread. The bread ain't going nowhere but on my backside, because the bread is not, the hot dog bun is not really food. The chili is just a lot of hamburger and sugar and relish and stuff, so I don't need to eat that either. So I always ask myself when I cook, is this suitable for my body? Does my body even understand what I'm eating? My body understands squash. My body understands cucumber. But my body does not understand a loaded pizza. So my body's going to do nothing with that loaded pizza but send all the fat. So, should I eat liver and onions? I don't like liver and onions, so I'm not going to give my body liver and onions. But look, as a child, I knew how to go into the woods and get wild food. I knew that. Oh, like I said, when I see those 600-pound people who do everything on their bed, I know they just highly disturbed. I'm just as highly disturbed as they are. People who overeat, all those mukbangs on YouTube, they are all highly disturbed people. I can relate to them. I know they're just as disturbed as I am. They make a YouTube channel and they're eating all this wrong food. They got rolls and rolls on top of fat. And what's going to happen is that the body's just going to give up. Bye. Yeah, and you're going to see some deaths or heart attacks or strokes very soon, because the body cannot stand but so much of that. We just highly disturbed individuals. I still have to deal with child abuse. I mean, I have to deal with the memories. A lot of people do. Joyce Myers, she has to deal with it. Even in her old age, Oprah has had to deal with it. See, child abuse is a lifelong healing process. So I submit to you that most of the people in 600-pound life, they had some type of traumatic event that happened in their childhood. I submit that to you. And like I said, there was never any food in my house. I mean, like I said, a 17-year fast. That's pretty much what I went on. 17-year fast. 1 meal a day at school. There's, because there's nothing at home, and then eating wild food. That's a fast as far as I am concerned. That is a form of child abuse to deny your child food. But we have to study food. I suggest all people who are dealing with weight issues to study food first to see what is the best food. I have found in my study that we only need 200 calories a day to even forget the 1,500 calories that they said in 1950s. That's only because there was a limited food supply, but we have a very bountiful food supply. So I would say 200 is about all we need. In the third world, they eat less than that. Plus, they walk everywhere. They walk everywhere to get a bucket of water and so on. I suggest if you larger than you need to be, to just start walking. You may only walk 20 minutes the first time you walk, and then you gradually increase to maybe an hour. But I suggest that you walk. Walking will help your sleep as well, because, if you do all that walking, your body has to rest. Okay, so you're gonna go to sleep. I suggest that you find a weight that you're comfortable with. Maybe you're not comfortable with 130 pounds. Maybe you're more comfortable with a 175 or something like that. And plus, if you've had children, I think you should add, 10 to 15 pounds per child. Okay, if you've had children, you're not gonna be 105 pounds. You're just not. I suggest that you do not eat cursed food. If I go drink a Monster drink, it's already cursed because the name says Monster. And there's a lot of food in the grocery store that's cursed. I see voodoo French fries. I see voodoo potato chips. You putting that, if you eat those, you just putting that voodoo right in your body system. Okay, no telling what's going to manifest it. There's devil wine, devil smoothies, all kinds of cursed food in the supermarket. And if you eat that stuff, you're just connecting yourself with the devil. That's cursed food. No telling what you might get, cancer, whatever. You don't know. So I would suggest that you stay away from cursed food. I think a lot of people do curse their own food. They're going to say, we're going to cook this bee. See, that's cursing food. They call them food a bee. We're going to cook this DB. They call a plate of spaghetti or a tuna salad, tuna melt, a bee. So that's cursed food. I would suggest you not eat cursed food. I don't eat food that's cooked by people with long nails, because this stuff is filthy. You got long nails in food? Bye. I'm not going to eat it. For the most part, I just eat food in the United States, Canada, and Europe. I don't eat food cooked by foreigners. I just don't, because I have seen them, because I watched them. I have seen them wipe their nose, blow their nose with their bare hands, no tissue, no nothing. So I don't eat that food. And besides that, I hear they got rats. They cooking rats and dogs and cats. I don't eat that. And substituting it for chicken and beef, okay? I don't eat food like that, okay? Like I said, I suggest you start your journey with a walk. You may only walk 10 minutes, but you know what? One long journey begins with one step. Have a nice day.